And there you go. All right, so now you can see you have a rotating rectangle. Okay, it goes all the way around. But because these are solid layers, you can't see underneath, so we need to fix that. To do that, we use blending tools. Okay, these are this little drop down box here are for all your blending modes. You have lots of different options. Honestly, some of them I've never used because I don't do what I want. Um, but a few of these are really cool for creating mandalas. You have lots of options. I suggest you actually play with them. So my first suggestion is to highlight. You really only want the top three images, okay? Because it's going to work off the color on underneath. So for example, if you just did the top one, you can start to see what it might look like. And now that might be cool too. Now I'm going to try all three. Again, that's basically by having the top layer highlighted, then pressing Shift and clicking on the bottom layer I want. And then I go up here, click lighten again, and as you can see, it changes to this really cool circular mandala pattern. Now, here's where it gets a little fun. You can try different things. You can try overlay. Now I have a dark one. I typically like lighten, lighter color, pin light. See how different that is? And difference. That's more of a psychedelic look. Okay, kind of like, let's try darken too. I like darken, so I'm going to stick with darken. You can see I have more around. I also want to try changing the color of my background because that's going to also affect what I see sometimes. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make sure black is selected. I'm going to go to my paint bucket tool here and I can just press G to do that. And then making sure I'm on my background layer, I'm going to just click. Alright, so that, I don't like that so much with darken, but again, if I selected these here and hit lighten, I'd like that much better than the white. So let me give you a white layer just to kind of show you the difference here. Okay, so this was when we had white and had all of these top ones on lighten. And this is what it looks like when it's on the black. You can see much more here around the sides. Gives you an actual circle instead of a rectangle with circles inside. Okay, now let's try it with darken. So I'm going to get these top three. I'm going to put them on darken. Okay, and again, now this time it actually gives me the rectangle on the black and more of a circle on the white. Now you can even try this with another color. White and black tend to have the best options, but try whatever you want. So I'm actually going to try this blue and see what happens. So basically, if I go over here and I click on this little color square, it will bring up my color picker. Now I can use this little sliding tool here and then pick something inside of here. Or if I want to choose a color actually inside of here, there's a little color picker just by bringing it into the image and then click and it will actually bring up that color. Okay, and put it down. Alright, so that didn't change very much. I think I'll just keep it with the white. So I'm just going to bring this and drag it to the trash can. And there we go. So I could be finished if I really just liked this overall design, but I think I really don't want the background to be white. So here's what I'm going to do. You have a couple options yet again. My suggestion, I'm going to double click on this lock to make it so that it's not a locked layer, and I can just get rid of it. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is make sure I hit one of the edges here and shift so all of them are selected. And again, Command or Control E to merge them. Just give it a second. There we go. Now I want my final mandala to actually be a circle shape and not have these little these little triangles off to the side. So I'm going to go over here to the elliptical tool. Okay, so pressing M will highlight it, but it's the second one down right underneath the move tool. And click and hold, and it will bring up, there we go, this little drop down menu. You want the elliptical or circle or circular. Okay, click on that. Up here, you can actually choose a ratio. Since we want a perfect circle, we want to have a 1-to-1 width to height ratio, right? Then you need to find the middle. So it's up to you. Wherever you think middle is, I think it's right around here. Bring it down right about there. All right. You can move it later if you need to, but try to not need to. So now to keep, if I just drag, I can move it all around, and I don't really want to do that. And it will all base off where I started dragging. But I want it to come, I don't want it to come from the edge, I want it to come from the middle. So Command D to deselect, go back to my middle. Now I'm going to press Shift to make sure, actually I don't even need Shift. Shift would be for when we don't have the fixed ratio selected, but that's okay. I'm just going to press Alt, make sure I'm back in the middle here, press Option or Alt, and drag. And you can see the circle gets bigger from the middle and won't move around your picture. And just kind of decide where you want it to end. Probably somewhere around here. Alright, so now I have my actual mandala selected. But the thing is, if I press delete, I'm just going to end up with a big hole. I want to get rid of everything on the outside of my mandala. So I go up here to select, all the way up here in the top bar, and then inverse, which is also Shift, Command, or Control I. Alright, so now you have marching ants around the canvas edge as well as the mandala. That means everything in between will get deleted. And now I just go to the move tool and I'm going to press delete or backspace. Alright, so now I have nothing in here. Okay, I want something in here, but I don't want to cover up my mandala. So you have a couple options. Try my paint bucket by pressing G in that color I selected and see what it's like. Okay, so I could do that. Or maybe I don't want that. I'll do another new layer. And I'm going to go up here to Edit, okay, Fill, or Shift F5. And they give you some options. So for the content, you can use Content Aware, which I'll show you. You can use the foreground color, which is that blue, because it's the top box over here. You can use the background color, which is the underneath box color over here. Or you can just press color, which is the smarter thing, and choose whatever color you want. So maybe I want a red. Okay. And then press OK. And there you have a red. I obviously do not want red, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm actually going to go back by pressing Alt or Option bang on your computer, Command Z, and just go back to before I deleted. There we go. Everything is selected. Edit, Fill, Content Aware. Looks like it might be working now. This will take a little bit of time because it actually has to think and reconstruct that whole area. Just give it a minute. So it should be interesting to see what happens. Alright, so now it's almost done. And there you go. Wow, I love it. Okay, so you can see it took some of the stuff from the inside and pulled it to the outside. So again, I'm going to go Command, or for Windows, Control D to deselect. And you can see what the final image would look like. Now, again, if you don't like it, you can totally change it, but I think I'll keep that, just like that. Perfect for Instagram. All right. So from here, I'm just gonna go File, Save As, and then find your folder and our mandala folder, and save.